They say there is a kingdom in the far north, where the wind never stops whispering, where the mountains are made of crystal ice, and where a princess was born with a heart so cold that winter followed her wherever she walked. But what no one knew was that one day that frozen heart would decide the fate of the entire kingdom. This is the story of the Ice Princess of the Northern Kingdom. Long ago, beyond the tallest mountains and the deepest forests, there existed a powerful kingdom called Nordval. Nordval was known for its endless winters. Snow covered the land almost all year, and shimmering glaciers surrounded the royal palace like giant walls of glass. Despite the cold, the kingdom was prosperous and peaceful under the rule of King Alric and Queen Eloanne. But one winter night, something extraordinary happened. A storm unlike any other struck the kingdom. The wind howled like wolves. The sky turned silver, and lightning flashed across the frozen mountains. That same night, the queen gave birth to a baby girl. The moment the child took her first breath, the storm suddenly stopped. Snowflakes froze in the air, and a strange chill spread across the entire castle. The royal healer looked at the newborn princess with wide eyes. Her skin felt cold as ice, and beneath her tiny chest, her heartbeat was slow, steady, and freezing. The healer whispered quietly to the king, "This child carries ancient winter magic." The king named her Princess Isolde, but no one knew then that her heart had literally been touched by the power of ice itself. As Princess Isolde grew older, strange things began happening. When she laughed as a child, tiny snowflakes would fall around her. When she walked through the gardens, the flowers froze beneath her feet. And when she cried, the air itself turned into frost. At first, the people of the kingdom were amazed. They believed the princess was blessed by the spirits of winter. But as the years passed, something else became clear. Isolde never felt warm, not from fire, not from sunlight, not even from hugs. Her body remained cold no matter what. Even worse, she struggled to feel emotions like other people. She cared about her parents, of course, but her heart felt distant, frozen, as if something inside her was locked away. By the time Isolde turned 16, her powers had grown stronger. She could create snowstorms with a wave of her hand. She could freeze entire lakes in seconds, and she could summon icy winds that roared across the mountains. The people admired her power, but they also feared it. Children whispered stories about the Ice Princess. Servants kept their distance. And even the royal guards sometimes shivered when she walked past. Isolde noticed this, and slowly she began spending more and more time alone. She wandered through the frozen forests, sat beside silent glaciers, and watched the northern lights dance across the sky. The lights were beautiful, but they were also cold, just like her. One night, an old traveler arrived at the palace gates. He was a mysterious man, wrapped in dark cloaks, carrying a staff made of crystal. The guards brought him before the king. The traveler looked directly at Princess Isolde and said, "I have come because of the winter inside her." The entire throne room fell silent. The traveler explained that many centuries ago, a powerful ice spirit once ruled the northern mountains. This spirit controlled the storms, the snow, and the frozen seas. But the ancient kings sealed the spirit away using powerful magic. Before disappearing, the spirit left behind a prophecy. The traveler recited the ancient words, "When the child of winter is born with ice in her heart, the frozen spirit will awaken once more." The king's face turned pale. "Are you saying my daughter will destroy this kingdom?" The traveler shook his head slowly. "No, but her power will decide whether the kingdom survives or freezes forever." Years passed. Princess Isolde tried to control her magic, but the older she grew, the stronger the winter inside her became. Then, on the night of her 80th birthday, something terrible happened. A massive storm appeared above the mountains. The wind screamed louder than ever before. Ice cracked across the frozen sea. And deep beneath the northern glacier, something ancient began to wake. The ice spirit had returned. A giant creature made of crystal and frost rose from the glacier. Its glowing blue eyes shined across the land. Where it walked, blizzards followed. Villagers froze. Rivers turned to ice. The people of Nordval panicked. They had never seen such destruction. The royal army tried to stop the creature, but swords shattered against its frozen body. Arrows turned into ice before reaching it. The ice spirit was unstoppable, and it was moving directly toward the capital. As the kingdom prepared for disaster, a young traveler arrived at the palace. His name was Kalen. Unlike the people of Nordval, Kalen came from a distant southern land where the sun burned bright and deserts stretched endlessly. Around his neck hung a glowing red crystal. The moment Princess Isolde saw it, she felt something strange. Warmth, a small flicker of heat inside her frozen chest. Kalen explained that the crystal he carried was called the Heart of Flame. It was an ancient artifact capable of balancing powerful magic. "Your ice magic is not evil," Kalen told her, "but it is incomplete. The only way to stop the ice spirit is to bring balance between fire and ice." Princess Isolde made a decision. She would travel to the northern glacier and confront the ice spirit herself. Kalen insisted on joining her. Together they rode across the frozen mountains while the storm grew stronger around them. Along the journey, something surprising happened. Every time Kalen came near her, the cold around Isolde weakened slightly. The ice beneath her footsteps stopped spreading. For the first time in her life, she felt something different. Not cold, not emptiness, but warmth. Finally, they reached the giant glacier where the ice spirit stood waiting. The creature towered like a mountain of crystal. Snowstorms swirled violently around it. When it saw Princess Isolde, its deep voice echoed across the ice. "Child of winter, you belong to me." The ice spirit raised its arms. A massive wave of frozen wind rushed toward them. Isolde stepped forward. Her eyes glowed with icy power. She raised her hands and summoned a storm of her own. Ice clashed with ice, blizzard against blizzard. The battle shook the entire glacier, but the ice spirit was ancient. Its power overwhelmed hers. Isolde began to fall to her knees. The cold inside her heart grew stronger, until she could barely move. Then Kalen ran forward. He placed the heart of flame into her hands. "Your power doesn't need to destroy the world," he said. "It just needs balance." As Isolde held the crystal, warmth spread through her body. Her frozen heart began to glow. For the first time in her life, she felt real emotion, hope, courage, and something even stronger, love for her kingdom. With a deep breath, Isolde released both powers at once, ice and fire, winter and warmth. The two forces combined into a brilliant wave of magic. The ice spirit roared as the balanced energy surrounded it. Slowly, the ancient creature began to freeze again, not with destructive ice, but with peaceful crystal. Within moments, the ice spirit turned into a silent glacier once more. The storm disappeared, the sky cleared, and the northern lights shined peacefully above the mountains. Princess Isolde returned to Nordville as a hero. Her heart was no longer completely frozen. She still possessed her winter magic, but now it was balanced with warmth. The kingdom's winters became gentler. Snow still fell across the mountains, but it no longer brought fear. Instead, it became a symbol of the princess who had saved them all. And Kalen, he remained in the kingdom because sometimes even an ice princess needs someone who can bring warmth to her heart.